everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm doing a Q&A / natural get ready with me. I'm going to do a fresher makeup than I normally do because we're going to talk about confidence, relationships, good vibes and all good things like that. So I will leave the products down below that I'm doing. I will try and keep up to date and mention the ones that I'm using. Like always, got a little book of questions that I've got from people. Let me actually get something to put my hair back because this is gonna get on my nerves. So for primer, I'm using the Bobbi Brown Enriched Face Base because it's a classic. I've been using this religiously. Okay, so question number 1. Do you struggle with acne and what products? No, I don't struggle with acne. However, by the way, I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter to start with. I never ever really struggled with acne during school times. Like, I had very good skin. However, more recently, in the past, I would say year or so, I found myself breaking out a lot more than I usually do, and in areas that I don't usually do, which I believe is down to hormonal. I feel like a lot of people go through school without acne, and then around 2021 they suddenly get spots. So I definitely have got products for my routine now that I didn't do before, so when my skin is acting up, I can, pattern it really quickly. Because normally I used to get spots in my T-zone, which was always hormonal on my period, whereas now I will get them like on my cheeks and in random places which I really wouldn't know, and I'm guessing again it's hormonal but not always to do with my periods. Niacinamide is one of the most important things I do because I find this stops oils being produced on my skin unnecessarily, which is what causes me to have spots. Whether you use that moisturizer, like for example this one from Trini, it has niacinamide in it, so like it's a 2-in-1 sort of vibes. But I think niacinamide pimple patches, for example the Starface ones, these really help draw out the spots, especially on my cheeks, because it can be quite swollen, and you see a lot of them are like under the skin. Yeah, so it's something I've definitely been having to get used to and learning what products to use to try and help it. But niacinamide pimple patches, keeping your skin moisturized so it doesn't feel the need to pump out oils because your skin is dry. I'm now going to go in with the Trini London Serum Base because this is stunning, and I'm actually going to use my fingers to apply this. My mum loves Trini, so when I got sent these products she was gassed, and not gonna lie, I was gassed too, because look, they really just make your skin look flawless. Next question, thoughts on situationships. So I can't lie, I do find myself in situationships, and I don't know if that's commitment issues or what. I feel like the lack of commitment in our generation is crazy. I feel like that's why situationships are so prevalent these days. I'm using the Hourglass in Beach under my eyes. I feel like situationships are very misconstrued because I feel like a lot of people assume that you don't grieve in the same way, but you do. You do grieve in the same way as a genuine relationship. You are allowed to feel all the things you would have felt if you were in a relationship breakup. I think just because you weren't officially boyfriend girlfriend, it's difficult because you're like almost fighting with your mind saying, but he was never my boyfriend. But like, I saw something on TikTok that was like, if you've had sex with people like more than, is it 4 or 5 times, your body kind of feels like it's a relationship. So another question I actually get this one quite a lot, which is understandable, is how I gained confidence after my weight loss. And I have to be honest with you guys, it wasn't easy, and it's still not easy. In terms of confidence, I had to work not only on my physical confidence, my physical strength, but also mental. And something that really helped me just kind of come back to earth and focus on the energy inside of me was the Aurora app. They give you a questionnaire at the beginning and they'll create a plan for you and what they feel like what's going to be most beneficial to you and your mental health. And Aurora's the closest I've come to therapy, and I can't lie, it works. With the different lengths of videos that you can watch, it really allows you to personalize it to what you feel you can mentally take on for the day. It's not like your generic app, it's everything in one. It has life coaches, it has breath work, it has spirituality, it has meditation, it has mindfulness, storytelling, so you can find what you love and a person you love. Because I know it's the same with a therapist. You don't get along with every therapist you have. You don't always feel that connection, but with the Aurora app, you have that all in one space, so you can go and find the most personalized thing to you. You can actually set when you want your reminders to come, and I have mine set for after 10:30 at night because that's for me when it most works. I do have a link for you guys which will give you a free trial using my code izzyshea. I'll leave the link down below. It also gives you 25% off your first year. But why not give it a go? It's been a life changer for me. It feels so relaxing. It's like a little sanctuary in an app. I'll put on screen what it looks like and all the things you learn on the app. You can also put that forward to other people, so it's not just for yourself, it's for everyone. So that's definitely one of the main things that helped with my confidence. But also I found that working out at night like helps me finish off the day. I feel good when I get up in the morning. I was always an avid walker personally, and more recently I've been going to the gym to try and gain some muscle because I kind of felt a bit weak. I used to work in Tesco's, I don't know if many of you know, but yeah, I used to work in Tesco's, so I actually became very naturally strong just by like working on the shop floor, because you have to lift quite heavy boxes, I'm not gonna lie. After a while of being self-employed, I started to notice myself getting weaker because I wasn't actively exercising, and I feel like that's also another thing that really improved my mental health. And I know everyone says it, like exercise will improve, but it really does. It kind of gives you a release of things you didn't realize you need releasing, and it also builds mental strength. Mentally, I'm very much more disciplined. I'm conscious of what I'm doing. I'm there. Does that make sense? Like I feel like your brain is capable of so much, and it's so important to recognize that and use that to your advantage, because all the thoughts, all the feelings, everything come from in here, and you can control that to an extent. Obviously, you're going to feel emotions. You can't hide emotions. You need to feel emotions. You need to feel things, but you also need to be able to manage those feelings. And finding different things like the Aurora app and working out for me personally really helped. In terms of my workout routine, I have been going to the gym with my friend Bethany. I have been more recently going by myself because that's something I'm trying to actively work on, being able to be confident in the gym by myself. But yeah, once I do have a more set routine to show you guys, I will be doing that. I don't want to give you guys a routine that I'm not 100% sure on yet. I'm still working out what I feel works for my body the most. I've only been going consistently to the gym since September time. It's still fairly new, but the improvements on my mental health is crazy, and I always thought it was dookie, to be honest, when people were like, exercise helps your mental health. It honestly does. But I will keep you guys updated with that, but probably on my TikTok, because TikTok is probably where I will end up posting it. Also because it's just easier, it's a bit more snappier. People can just save it to their phone instantly. You can't save a YouTube video, and I know personally I like to save gym routines into my phone, so I will do that on TikTok. The next question is self-sabotage, and this one is a killer. I can't lie, I'm a sucker for some self-sabotage. I'm using the Anastasia cream bronzer, by the way, guys. Self-sabotage. How do you stop it? You can't stop the thoughts. I feel like that's a silly way to think. However, you can't control thoughts. Thoughts just come. But you can control the actions after the thoughts, and it's making sure you're correcting yourself within your mind, you know? So when you think a thought, actively correct it in your mind. You don't have to say it out loud, but correcting yourself in your mind, teaching your brain that that's not okay. Thoughts all come from in here, which means you can change them in here. It's not easy. It's not a simple process. It's habit, it's training. You're training a brain, you're training a muscle the same way you would go to a gym. It's about training yourself to recognize, shit, I'm self-sabotaging myself. Let me stop this before I actively act on that thought without knowing. I think once you become consciously aware you're self-sabotaging, you're also consciously aware of the things you're doing to do that, or the thoughts that come before you end up doing something that would potentially self-sabotage yourself. I feel like a lot of my advice is generic, but I think a reminder is always necessary, and don't be harsh on yourself. Like, it's not something that comes overnight, and talking to your friends, getting your friends to help you recognize when you're self-sabotaging. Like, for example, me and my friend Chizzy, we always talk about self-sabotaging. Like, we're very conscious of, like, if one of us will say something, we'll be like, I'll be self-sabotaging here. Like, it's making sure if you are struggling, get your friends on board to help you. Your friends are there to support you, and you're there to support your friends. It's teamwork makes the dream work with mental health. The more people that work on their own, the more people can help with others, and vice versa, and then it just becomes one big circle. Expressing to your friends, if you feel like you're self-sabotaging, tell them where you think you self-sabotage, so that they can actively remind you if they catch you doing it, and vice versa. You need your friends to call you out sometimes, effectively. Like, your friends are there to be honest You need them to be like, babe, you're self-sabotaging, like, we're not going to do this, how do we sort this? Making sure the people around you are aware of what you do when you self-sabotage, or just things that trigger your self-sabotage mode, so that they can help you reverse that or stop it in its tracks. Lockdown changed a lot of lives, full stop, in terms of, because we had a lot of time to think. I think a lot of people now are more aware of their thoughts than ever. It's such a good thing because we're more aware, we're self-aware, which means we can self-improve, but at the same time, being so aware can be scary without support. If any of my friends came to me being like, could you just like, you know, if I'm self-sabotaging, just check me, I'm gonna check them. I'm always going to check them. I'm gonna make sure that I'm helping them and they do the same to me, and it's a circle, the circle of life. Next question is, what have I learned this year? Let me actually think about this. This year, I think I've learned more than ever, communication is key in every relationship you have. What's another thing I've learned this year? Self-love, actually. Spending time by yourself and enjoying that time by yourself. This year, I've also learned that life is a roller coaster. Like, genuinely, life is a roller coaster, and you just have to take it day by day. You can't dwell on what's going to happen. I'm gonna actually quote Andrew Tate here. He was saying, why are you gonna be sad today when there's nothing wrong? You're gonna have a bad day where there is something going wrong. So if you're having a day where obviously thoughts are wearing your mind, but nothing has happened on that specific day, use that time to focus on, you know, appreciation and like, okay, so I've had a good day today. I know these thoughts are still in my head, but today's been a good day and I need to appreciate that, because good days come, bad days come. I've found personally that taking each day as it comes has been the easiest way forward for me, because I'm very much an overthinker. If I think too far ahead, I'm gonna overthink and my brain's gonna start worrying. You can't change the past. The future isn't here yet. You can only focus on your present day, and I think living in the moment, that's it. What I've learned this year is living in the moment, appreciating what I have now. I think in these past couple of years, we've seen so many changes in the world and how quickly things can change in different countries, and there's been so much problems and there's been so many problems in the world. It's really put into perspective for me how lucky I am to live in the country I live in, how the safety I have, the roof over my head, the friends and the support I have around. It's easy to get caught up in the small things, and I think this year I've really learned that the bigger picture is I'm safe. I have food in my fridge downstairs. There's a roof over my head. I have clothes, I have a bed to sleep in. So easy to just overlook the things you have in your life already that are positive. But if you actually just sat there, listed them out, you would realize, think it kind of brings you back down to like, okay, like, do you know what I mean? Obviously there's things that are deep. There's so many things that are deep, but at the same time, it's so easy to overthink the things that aren't. And I think that's the issue. It's trying to look at the bigger picture. And I think with the whole thing of me saying take things day by day, it has allowed me to look at the bigger picture. It allows you to focus on smaller things at once. It doesn't feel so overwhelming, and I think that's the most important thing I've learned this year. Obviously I knew that, but I think just seeing everything in the world, it's just made me realize a lot more, and maybe just with age I've kind of realized it a lot more as well.